There's bread in the market that is called Ezekiel bread, and that is because we found in Ezekiel, in Perek Dalet, Pasuk Tet, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him to take bread that is made out of different seeds, and this is the way he should make and knead that bread, bake it, and eat it. And over there, it's speaking about doing so because you're trying to show it's a time of sorrow, it was a famine, people didn't have what to eat. So Kadosh Baruch Hu says that therefore don't separate the seeds and make yourself a good looking bread and a good tasting bread, rather eat it all together when it's mixed with all kind of various seeds. And today they take that kind of bread and they sell it in the market. They say that it's much healthier, and people buy it. But the idea behind it, that it doesn't have just regular flour that you bake with that flour, a regular dough, and make it into a bread, but rather it's made out of various seeds. Like for instance, there's wheat in there, barley, beans, lentils, millet, and spelt, and you let it sprout by putting it in the water. It sprouts. Then when it becomes moist, you knead it together and you bake it like that, and it looks like regular bread. They say that it's much healthier. The question is, what bracha do you make on this Ezekiel bread? And we found that there's two different shitot of what bracha to make on it. One shita is to say that it's not regular bread because it was never made into flour. Rather, you took it when it was in a state of sprout grains, and you put it all together and you bake it like that. And therefore, could be that that's not the bread Chazal spoke about, and the bracha should not be for that hamotzi lechem min haaretz. But many other poskim hold that one should say hamotzi lechem min haaretz because there's no requirement in the halacha that it should be made out of flour. And this is how Belsky writes halacha lemaaseh. This is how he held that without any doubt this bread is hamotzi lechem min haaretz, because there's no requirement to have a flour as long as it looks like a bread, which means it has the shape and the look of the bread, and it tastes like a bread. It's made out of grain, and there is grain in there as well, although we said before that there's also beans and lentil, but the main ingredients in there are those from the 5 grains, and therefore you could make on such bread hamotzi lechem min haaretz, and the bracha chona for that would be also birkat hamazon. But there is one bread that one needs to be careful, and that is bread that is gluten-free, made out of oats, and because it's gluten-free, they put in there much more lentils and other kinds of different kitniot, and including rice and so on, and therefore, in order to say bracha chona birkat hamazon, you have to eat enough from a shiur that you'll know you ate from the oat, enough of a kazait in order to be able to say bracha chona. Otherwise, if you didn't eat kazait from the oat, and although you ate kazait, even more than kazait, 2 kazitot from that bread, but since it's mostly not from those 5 grains that require to say bracha chona birkat hamazon, therefore you wouldn't say birkat hamazon. So in that you have to be more careful. On the other breads, normally when you eat enough of a shiur, you'll have, obviously you have to eat a little bit more than kazait, but you have enough over there from the 5 grains that you can consider that enough to say birkat hamazon. So therefore halacha lemaaseh, according to Belsky and many other poskim, on that Ezekiel bread you would say in the beginning hamotzi lechem min haaretz, and in the end you'll say birkat hamazon.